What is up, guys? Chris here. Today I'm going to show you how to recruit a shiny Pokemon 100% of the time, how to get shiny Pokemon a lot easier, and also how to make it to where then you can farm them a lot easier. So 3 main things. Of course, also show you all the best loadouts and best play styles. I'll go through a whole entire video showing exactly how it works. It might be a little tricky, but once you get it set up, it's really easy and really nice. I farmed 2 Sudowoodos or 3 Sudowoodos within 2 floors and within a good amount of time, and it's really cool. So first off, you obviously need Nintendo Online. If you don't, you can't do it, sadly. You need to have access to the cloud saving for this game, and you really do need that. So to show a quick example of it, you have to push the plus button on this game. You go to save cloud data, or right there, save data cloud, click it. I play on my Me3 account, so load up the game you played on, click on that. Then right now it's blacked out or grayed out because I can't do anything right now. I already have my loaded up file. So normally you go to automatic save data backup, turn it off. You have to turn this off or else it'll constantly auto save. Next up, when you do that, you click backup save data. That means when you find a shiny, you want to do that. When you find a monster house, you want to do that. And when you go into a room where you want to spawn a monster house, you save before you put down the orb, before you enter the monster house, before you interact with the shiny. The moment you see it pop up, we'll just do it like that, and you'll see exactly what I mean by that. After you do that, you then proceed to either dropping the monster orb, or you proceed to walk into the monster house, or you proceed to then attack the shiny. If you can't recruit it, you then, or you don't find a shiny through the monster house, you then push to the home button again off of your game. You then push the plus button again, go to your save data to cloud, click on the account that you're going to play the game on. Now it goes, you push download save data. Don't back up the save data again because now it will save where you're at. Don't do that. What this feature does is it re-downloads the game onto your file where you saved last on the cloud, thus destroying the current file there that is currently where you possibly failed the shiny or you possibly spawned the monster house with no actual shiny in it. When you do the download save data, it will actually reset you back, and you'll see exactly how that works right now. I am at the place for Ninetales, and I had it to where I found a monster house. And it's really cool. This also works at a lot of things like Purity Forest, and I'll explain that in another video I'll release like almost right after this one, I think. This will help you with the grinding of Purity Forest and how to get to Celebi up there and not worry about, failing or having to have people rescue at like floor 90. But once again, you do need Nintendo Online. You can get free trials if you go on the Nintendo Online or Nintendo website. You can grind coins and get them that way. So if you ever need like a week's trial, you can do that like once or twice. This doesn't work with Celebi, by the way. Once you spawn in a dungeon, it'll spawn the whole entire thing and whatnot. It's going to spawn the whole entire dungeon for you, and you will not be able to do that. So kind of goofy, but that's how it is. So the best loadout you could do right now, just for shiny hunting, I'm going to explain it. Get a Pokemon with ability Notorious Fasting, then get a Pokemon with Squat Up, a Pokemon with Friendly. When you have those abilities all together, they work really beautiful for shiny hunting. It works amazing. After that, you're going to want your Friend Bow. You're going to want X-Ray Specs. Is very important if you're looking for monster houses or looking for bosses. If you go to an area where it's not going to show you all the items, all the Pokemon on the field, get X-Ray Specs. It's very important. Then, of course, load up on a whole bunch of apples. Obviously, perfect apples would be perfect. Big apples would be good too. Normal apples is fine, but it just takes up space. I'll go through my loadout right now I use most of the time. There's multiple ways to shiny hunt this game, but you need the Friend Bow. Put it onto a Pokemon with that has False Swipe. You need False Swipe. You need the Friend Bow. That means it requires you to beat the game. Now I have the Big Eater Belt in case I want to equip it to the Pokemon that needs to pretty much eat, and it doubles the what an apple. So an apple that will normally give you 50. Put on the Big Eater Belt, feed it to the person, and now gives you 100. Next up, you want to stock up on some Max Elixir just because, or Max Ethers. Bring a whole bunch of Reviver Seeds in case you're not strong enough to take on certain bosses. You have your Empowerment Seed if you can Mega Evolve a Pokemon. I recommend for your False Swiper, use a Sceptile, because then can you Mega Evolve, you can Sword Dance, and the False Swipe would be a lot better. So there's multiple things. Next up, you want to bring an Escape Orb. So when you get the shiny, you can also just escape the room. You don't have to worry about going through it all. Bring an Escape Orb, maybe bring 2. Cleanse Orb, possibly 2 Cleanse Orbs to completely clean yourself off of all the sticky traps you might hit. Revive All Orbs are very important. Revive All Orbs are actually more better than plain Reviver Seeds or just tiny Reviver Seeds. While Reviver Seeds will restore your belly and will restore your pee-pee, which is pretty good, the Revive All Orb pretty much is just say like your whole entire team of all your accrued Pokemon get knocked out except for your main. Revive All Orbs pretty much revives them, all of them on that level. Of course, you move up on a level, only revive your main partners and won't revive your recruit partners. So right here, you use the Revive Orb. It's pretty much like 5 or something like that. 7? No, it's like 7 Reviver Seeds off of 1 Revive Orb. They're very good in certain situations. I carry about 2 to 3. Next, if you want to have a full Hold Orb, just in case you want to like petrify the room, then you want to get a, I don't want to have a Warp Wand. get a Slumber Wand and a Petrified Wand. There is one other one that's really good, and it's the wand that makes it to where you take half health, and it turns the Pokemon you want to hit to 1 HP. So if you have it set up, you could actually turn that shiny Pokemon all the way down to 1 HP, and then False Swipe, kill it right away, and then you can see if you recruit it. If you don't, then you can do the whole method, which I'll show in a second, and that's just how that will be. It's really cool. So that's really it. I mean, you need probably Aurum Berries, you need all that stuff, but Empowerment Seeds are really important because you can take less damage when you evolve into Mega Sceptile, and of course, you'll have that extra hit for that. So my current, like, Sceptile's loadout is pretty simple. It's nothing too crazy. It's False Swipe, Sword Dance, Dragon Breath, Energy Ball. I like Dragon Breath because if you can hit, if it's not a strong, I mean, it's a very strong shiny, you can hit Dragon Breath, possibly paralyze it, and that's really good. Now, the reason why you need the certain wands, which we'll get to really quick, the reason why you need the sleep wands is that you want to put them to sleep and then hit them as many times as you can, then put them to sleep again. Petrified Wand is good too, because just say you have a whole entire bunch of Pokemon. We'll do an example right here. You have a whole bunch of these, maybe it spawns randomly in a shiny does in a random room. You get Petrified Wand, you have a whole bunch of recruit Pokemon. You can't tell them to stop attacking. With these, your party, you can go to that and you can go do not use moves. That means they won't attack. However, the recruit Pokemon will attack, and it's very frustrating. So what you can do is you can also pop up this right here. You can then go over to the Petrified Wand, use it with the wave. Now he cannot move until he gets hit. You can use it every single Pokemon to say stop attacking. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's a great way to, if you get a shiny and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have no corridors to run into, you can hurry up and just paralyze them and go, nope, you can't move until they get attacked by another Pokemon, or until you get hit by a status effect, like I guess a weather effect, like Sandstorm or something. So there's a chance that, you know, this could fail, but a lot of cases you can petrify them. Now he can't move until he gets hit, so that's really cool. Good option. Now you just go to the other part. Once again, we're going to go here. Now the game works on frames, and I'm going to explain that in a bit. It's really complicated. It might be a little hard for me to explain it, but it's not as hard as it seems. It's just weird, and I'll explain that in a second. So right now we're going to walk around, go to this place right here. We're going to go. We have to kill these guys, of course. They're getting in the way. I'm actually going to save in a bit to show it a little bit easier how to explain frames. But the frames are really goofy in this game. You can make it to where you get the same exact monster house over and over again if you don't advance the frames. You can spawn the same thing over and over and over again if you don't do this right. So now we're right here, and now we're going to go forward, and it's going to spawn up, obviously, the monster house. And when I get the shiny, I'll show it. When I get all that type of stuff, I'll show it exactly. But now we spawn this monster house. So what we do, once again, push this button, push the plus button, go to Save Data Cloud, go to Me 3. Now you're going to go to Download Save Data. When you backed it up earlier, you normally would, if you didn't back up your data yet, I'll show that in particular really quick. So since we spawned this monster house, I don't want to save the data. But before we went to the house, I would have saved the data right before I walked into it. And then I would have done the whole download save data if I didn't get a shiny. If I walked into it, got a shiny, you don't have to worry about that step. You're good. So I'll explain that when the time comes. So now, since I get a shiny, we're going to go to download save data. Now I'm going to reset all the way back to where I just was. And it's now the same monster house if I do the same methods and do the same movements. But if not, if I move around a bit, it's going to spawn a different one. And I'll show another example of how that works and whatnot. This also works with, once again, Purity Forest. It works with resetting the Kecleon shops. You can pretty much go to a higher level dungeon, use escape, save it through the cloud again, use escape orb. It lets you go to the Kecleon shop. If you can buy it, that's how you can farm, you know, like inviting orbs. Or if you want to go through like Mewtwo's floor to where he only has 20 floors and you can leave after that, and then you can just farm it that way. I'll explain it when the time comes. But this game, you can easily farm shinies. It's kind of goofy. It still can be rewarding. It took me 2 hours to find my first Sudowoodo this way. It still can be annoying, but it's well worth it once you get set up and whatnot. So right here, we'll go right again. And instead of going all close to it and going all like right there right away, I'm going to run around for a bit. I'm going to reset this area and reset all the Pokemon here, so I don't have to worry about a lot of the stuff that comes of it. So once again, it's just going to, you can even hold down R and A. When you hold down R and A, it's going to actually speed up the time and fast forward the time, and also have everyone do their moves and whatnot. You just sit here and chill. It's going to drain your belly really fast, so notorious fasting will make it to where even if you have zero belly, you'll be able to continue the fast forward. If not, you're going to, every time you try to fast forward, you're going to get hurt and it's not going to work. So now that we're at, like, you know, we'll say 58 tummy, we're going to probably sip over there really quick, do a few more little movements. Now this should be a different monster house. It shouldn't be the same exact one. I'll give another example in a second so you can fully see. So once again, it pops open everyone. There's no boss here. This is all different Pokemon from last time. Well, same Pokemon in general, but not the same placements, not the same overall. So once again, we're going to pop that. We're going to go to plus. We're going to save data cloud. Go to me 3. We're now going to pop the download save data, not the save backup. You do the backup save data, you're going to lose this monster house, or you're going to possibly lose out on another thing. Now, this is just for the monster house aspect. This also works, once again, with the shiny. Once I get to the shiny, I will show it. This is just if you want to do the monster house and you want to not fail certain things. So this time, we're going to get closer to the game, and we're going to get closer to the monster house and show you that you can get the same monsters over and over again if you don't move frames. So you got to be careful. You be sitting here for hours hitting the same thing over and over again if you don't pay attention. This also works for monster orbs. You go into an area, keep this in mind, go into an area without a Pokemon that doesn't have an apple. Like if it asks you like, hey, I need an apple to revive me, you can't do a monster house on that floor. If the monster house is already on that floor, you can't do a monster house on that floor. It will not work. If you're in a corridor and you use a monster orb, you will not be able to access that. It will just disappear. It'll teleport you somewhere random. You can only use a monster orb if there's not a Pokemon that needs an apple, if they're not a quest Pokemon, if you're in a corridor, you won't be able to access it. But if you go to a room where there's no apple Pokemon, go into a rather large room too. Don't do the smaller rooms. It's a little spooky. Make sure you line up and have everyone in the corridor, have you sticking one tile in. So I'll give you an example. Right now, if you have the monster orb, you'll have everyone go into the corridor like this. You'll pop in, and then once it spawns everyone, you'll just be able to pop right back in. You can switch Pokemon and take all of this stuff. But if you get nothing out of the monster house orb, then you just reset it. So right now, at this time, I'm going to save right here this time. I'm going to update my save spot. I'm going to kill this Xatu first. Hopefully I can recruit him. Okay, I can't. Darn it. So we're going to do this really quick. Once again, push plus. Now, if this is your first time doing it, then this is how you're going to do it. Go right here. Now, I'm going to back up save data. Now, since I'm backing up the save data, it's currently saving my spot. So the auto saves in the game matter no longer. We have, once again, the automatic save data backup is off. Because if not, then it's going to be spawning over and over again. It's going to keep auto-saving every second, not let you spawn. So we backed up the save data. Now see how it's all grayed out? You can't use it? That's because it's backed up. And you can't download it because it's already there. You already have the download up right now. So we saved the data, and we are currently right where we were a second ago. Now what's going to happen with this is that you're going to be able to move forward right away, spawn up the monster house, get nothing out of it, reset it. And if you don't move around a bit, as you'll see, you're going to get the same exact monster house over and over and over again. And this goes for a lot of other stuff as well. Now, the best way I figured out how to do this is to hold down the R and A button in a location where your friendly Pokemon can zot out everyone and make it to where they can just keep knocking out people that try to advance on you. Because this will also, while you're doing R and A, it's going to also spawn different Pokemon constantly. So you're actually double shiny hunting right now. You're doing random spawns, and you're also doing spawns of the monster house. So if I did this right away, let's see, go right into there. We have this current setup. See how it is right here? I'm going to now take a picture. So we have a screenshot, and we can, that's our current setup. So once again, I do the save data to the cloud. I'm now going to load up the game. This is what you don't want to do. You want to download the save data, but the next part's not, you're not going to want to do what I did. See how it says overwrite console save data? Make sure you're all right with that. You'll be fine. Don't be spooked when that comes up. You'll be totally okay. So now you pretty much did that. Go back to your game. It once again loaded up right before the monster house at the same exact spot. And sometimes it does change. Sometimes the RNG does switch up. So I might not get the exact same monster house, but I should. If I move within the exact same frames, then we'll be good to go. I'll explain, once again, frames in a second. That's going to be really tedious to explain, kind of hard. So I'm going to have to pause the video and try to explain that, a more detailed version of it. It's going to be goofy. It's going to be goofy, that's for sure. But yeah, of course, like, now we do it as fast as we can. We're going to move right over, do a screenshot, and then compare and contrast. And then we'll do it one more time when we manipulate the odds and change it. So there we go. There it is. The same exact room, I'm pretty sure. Whoops, I didn't do a right screenshot. There we go. Now we're going to go to the album, so I can show you that this is the exact same room pretty much. This is the second monster house. That's the first monster house. As you can tell, they were right back to back. I did not skip the frames. There's one Hoot Hoot, one Hoot Hoot. There is another Hoot Hoot, another Hoot Hoot. There is 4 Ninjasks, 4 Ninjasks. There's, of course, 4 Beautifly, 4 Beautifly. They're a little bit off because I have different angles. And we have, of course, the 2 Pidgeotos, 2 Pidgeotos. Are that Pidgeot? I can't tell if it's Pidgeot, Pidgeotto. Either or. But see how that's the same exact house, essentially? We don't want that. We don't want the same house because you're just going to be sitting there. You'll never get a shiny that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Save Data to the Cloud. Once again, we're going to download Save Data. And this time, instead of just moving right to it and doing the same exact house, we're going to move around in advanced frames. You kind of want to pay attention to how many frames you're advancing as well. By just checking your hunger meter, you're going to really want to pay attention to the hunger meter. So I do it in hungers of 5. Every 5 hungry, I kind of change it up and see if it will advance the frames. Most of the time it works. I'll once again show a little tiny time lapse how it works, so you know exactly. I got 2 pseudoodles that way. It worked well. Actually 3 pseudoodles that way. One was through random spawns. The other one was through the other thing. Make sure once again you're using the Pokemon with X-ray specs. If you don't, you're not gonna be able to see. Excuse me. If the bosses are in there, if you can't get in there fully, you won't be able to see if bosses are spawned on the map. And I know this is a very long video. I do apologize, but I'm trying to be as clear as possible with how this goes. I'm trying my best right now. So instead of walking forward right away and getting the same exact room, we're going to hold down R and hold down A. We have our X-ray specs out, and now see it's summoning out Pokemon. They're spawning. They're moving around. We're still fast forwarding. You're pretty much on an auto mode right now. So right now we have 3 Pokemon on the map. We're now at the 62 belly. We're at 59 belly. When I get to 55 belly, I'm going to stop. It just spawned another Pokemon in the corner. And once we get to 55, I'll stop. This method right here of holding down R and A will also have a chance at spawning up a shiny boss that way, and also bosses. I got that Sudowoodo that way, which I'll show at some point, or I'll release a video or something. So I've got different Pokemon spawned up, and now as you can tell, the room's completely different. Now, if I went to 55 again with it, since we had so many other interactions, it might not be the same room, because our bellies, or we had different frame skips and whatnot. Once again, I'll explain frame skips in a second. I know that's really confusing. I keep saying frame skips, but you pretty much have to advance the frames to get a better chance of a different Pokemon popping up and whatnot. So once again, we didn't get shit. So I'm going to go to save data to the cloud. You can go to me 3. I'm not going to go to download save data. We're going to overwrite the console save data. Once again, very simple stuff, nothing hard. And then after that, I'll explain the frames. And the frames are goofy. They've been consistently weird in every Pokemon game forever. Frame skipping is really simple. It was really brutal in the Emerald version. You had to do it if you wanted to make sure you knew how to get a shiny. It's really goofy. Other games have it, it just wasn't as crazy. It's pretty much RNG abusing it to some extent to where you want to get it, but this game's a bit different. So while this isn't the most legit way, it is a way. Now you can once again do this with the Monster Orb, or you can do it with a Monster House. You can also just RNA just normally. You don't have to go back and forth, run around. That's not a big deal. So once again, resume from dungeon. I got lucky and got a Monster House on floor 3. Actually twice in a row. I accidentally reset my game to my old area when I meant to push save data, but I didn't. So once again, we're going to skip it forward. It's just going to be chilling there. It's going to keep, I believe, all the Pokemon on there. Like that Pidgeotto is going to always be there. He's always going to mess with us. Or Pidgeot, whatever which one it is. I can't tell. He will always mess with us, but they'll end up spawning new Pokemon after you take care of those ones, or when new ones just spawn up in general. So we're at 47 now for our belly instead of 55. So we're going to pop in here again, and I'm pretty sure, I didn't actually pay attention, this should be a different one. So that's how it goes. Now we're going to go on to frames. I'm going to explain that. Frames are very weird and really interesting. Okay, now let's talk about recruitment frames and shiny frames. This is not actually pure RNG. Most people think that, oh, I failed this Pokemon, I'll load it up again, and I'll try again. I'll get it eventually. It just keeps doing that over and over again. If you don't change your sequence when trying to get this Pokemon recruited, you will never recruit it. You will get the same exact rate over and over again. You have recruitment frames that are fails and recruitment frames that are successes. We'll say that the success of a recruitment frame is 1 through 10. And then the fail recruitment frame is 11 through 20. Every time you move your character, you're changing a frame. So here, for example, this Espeon will say moved 1 spot. I had to push A first. Moved 1 spot. I now moved 1 frame forward. Them all doing their moves might change frames too. That's a bit different, but just focus on this Espeon. He now moved 1 frame forward. He moved another frame forward. So he's actually progressing his thing. So we'll say that we're at frame 1. And we're first interacting with our shiny Pokemon. We haven't done any frames yet. He spawned up. We're now going to attack him. So we do a quick attack. We go from frame 1 to frame 2. We do another quick attack. We're at frame 3. We do a false swipe. We're at frame 4. We do another attack, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I use my false swipe and I hit the Pokemon and it lands on frame 11. It knocks it out. And remember, frame 11 through 20 are fails for recruitments. It lands on that frame 11. I knock it out. I don't get it. So I back out by pushing the home button, the plus button, save data cloud, me 3. We go to download save data and try again. If you do the same exact method and you don't move it, it's going to be a fail after fail after fail. Maybe this time it took even longer, but it was still 11 through 20. Maybe this time you land on frame 15 for the movements or the attacks, and it's still a fail. You have to get back to that 1 through 10. This is an example. It's a little bit more complex than that, but that's a basic understanding of how the frames would work. So maybe this time you exit out of your game. Now this time you get you knock out the shiny on frame 7. So once it gets knocked out, you're now on frame 8 and you can recruit it. You successfully recruit it. But just say your frame's really wonky and it's not a simple 1 through 10 or 11 through 20. What you'll do now is you'll just go like this. You'll just walk around for a bit. Obviously, that's not a good thing. I just goofed up myself. But you'll just keep doing moves, essentially. You'll go like this. We'll walk around. Now I'm advancing the frames. And after we'll say that maybe your belly will go down to 44 this time. You can try it. Next time, if it didn't recruit, next time drop your belly to 42. If it doesn't recruit, then go to maybe this time, go to like 39 or something. This time, maybe go to like something like that. Now, you could be like, well, that's not going to be easy because then I could fail the Pokemon because my teammates might attack it. Use your Petrified Wand on that Pokemon. Petrify the shiny Pokemon. Petrify your own Pokemon if you have to. Just make it to where you can advance frames. You can even go over here. You can even aim to the side, hold down Y, aim at a wall, hold down the ZL button now, and then use like Psychic or something. Use something random. It doesn't have to be Psychic in particular. You get what I mean? You do this to advance your frames. This is going to make it to where you reset them. You can go back and try to fix it and whatnot. Kind of think frames like a projector reel of an old-timey, movie theater. You have this reel inside of it that has a whole bunch of compressed pictures, which are pretty much little frames that pretty much mix together and make a video. And that video flows and has a very good story, obviously. It's producing a beautiful picture. However, it's a motion picture, but if you were to pause that, it then projects a picture on the screen, not a fluid thing, not a continuous movie. You're not projected that picture outwards. Think about that as a frame. Think about each individual reel as its own chance at recruiting and its own chance at failing. And just say you have it spinning, and then you pause it. It might fail that time. You have it spinning again, you keep moving, you advance the movie, you pause it. It might be a success that time. I will show you exactly how it might work if I fail a shiny Ninetales in a bit, which will be more than likely. I don't have my inviting orb, but I'll show that example. Once again, same exact thing happens with the monster house. If you were to walk inside, like as I showed you earlier, the monster house and spawn up the Pokemon, reset, and then walk without doing any deviation, it's going to spawn the same exact Pokemon over and over again, as you saw earlier. So frames are important to get the shiny because you have to make sure that if you recruit it and you fail at recruiting it, you then have to knock it out again, but before you knock it out or before you even interact with it, just move around a whole lot. Move maybe like 5 stomachs that, your belly decreases. Maybe move 5 or move like 6. Maybe do a few attacks. Just change up the frames to where it's not on the same frames over and over again. Because like I said, you might have it to where you're at frames 1 through 100, it might be all fails. So you might have to move around for a bit. Maybe you have it to where frames 1 through 300 are successes. There's no way to figure out your frames easily. It's very frustrating and very annoying. But for the most part, just move around a bit. I'll show you once I get to the Ninetales. It's not as hard as it seems. It just is very tedious and very annoying. And yeah, you just pretty much do that. I'll give you a whole entire video playthrough again. So yeah, let's go on to the next part. Oh, god dang it, it is. Oh, there he is. Wild. Goofy game. Let's go to this. Plus, I have nothing to add on to this. I don't even think I have inviting orbs or my squad up all the way. I only have, I think, oh, close. Make sure you go to backup save data. Yes, I'm going to close my software to save. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, your adventure has been resumed. Okay, let's see. Hopefully, I can catch it, but if I can't, I can show you how to manipulate the chances of make it so you can soft reset over these, or not soft reset, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm so caught up in the moment, so goofed on at the moment. Holy crap. Now we're at the highest, I think. There you go. Okay, so I only have one squad up Pokemon. I have squad up and friendly. So I don't even have max odds right now. I'm not even close. So it's gonna take a while to get shiny, to recruit it. So that's goofy. Yeah, see, so we did that. We failed it. We're gonna go to save data cloud, go to backup, and I'm gonna save next time a bit better so we don't get goofed on. See, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna show an example, I guess. You can still recruit. It just might take a while. Might just take a while to get the recruitment and whatnot. Man, that's so crazy. I was going through here to find a monster house and try to show how you can just do that. So once again, we do this. This is a great way to show off how you do it. We did the download save data after we saved it right there. And now it's going to load up right where we were when we first saw him. And this helps with shiny hunting. I'm going to show a few things and little examples of why you want to walk around a bit, because you have to change your frame so you're not in the recruitment fail frame. Ah, man, oh man. Wild. Now, this might take a while. I might have to like do a time lapse to be trying to get this. Might take 10 minutes, might take a half an hour, might take like an hour. You just never know with this thing. I might switch up the things to where he's about to die and then petrify him and then figure out from there. I might do something like that because I'll make it a lot easier and not so tedious. And now we just work on this, try to get him. And there we recruit him. As you guys saw, you can fail it. I had different frames that time. It wasn't the same exact movements, wasn't the same exact attacks. So this time I got him. If I were to have the same exact frames over and over again, I wouldn't have got him. So there was different frames moving. So this was able to recruit him, which is very interesting how they do that. Kind of weird. And I'll have a video explaining also how the frames work and whatnot. I actually like have it almost all filmed out. So it's really weird, but had I did the same exact movements and the same exact like everything, I would have kept failing it over and over again. But since I did a few different frame changes, it didn't take as long for certain parts. We got him. So that's cool. He has barking. That's not cool. Okay, I found a monster house. I'm chewing my food right now. It's gross. Gonna have to hurry. Go to eat. Go to this guy. And let's try to save at a decent time for this monster house. Right before we enter it. A few frames away before entering it. Because you don't want to have it to respawn like right on it. And then you have to, like, you get caught in some weird situation. So see how like it's like right there? We're actually gonna go like this. Once again, like, wait, one second, make sure you're not in a pause menu. You never know how it works with saving if you're in a pause menu. Save data cloud. The moment you find a monster house, save data cloud. Go to backup save data. Make sure the automatic save data backup is turned off. Now it's going to save in place this game where the monster house is at. You can keep resetting it over and over again until you get a shiny or until you get your desired Pokemon, in case you're actually looking for something different. I don't know why people do that. I guess if you're looking for a Mew, you could do that. You can get monster house Mews. You don't have to worry about them evolving, or I guess transforming, I mean, into another Pokemon. Link, when people that watch my streams, he had his Mew transform into a Porygon Z, and there's just like Porygon Z's or 2s all over the place, and that's all there was in that monster house. 58 now. See how this game can be. Oh, there it is. There it is. See how you can manipulate that. Wow. See how you can manipulate that into getting the monster house that you want. That's crazy. Cool, cool, cool. So we got 2 executors. I'm also going to show you how you can stay on this level and continue farming the executors now, which is very possible. Oh man, that spooks me. So let's turn the tactics off. They're gonna blasting this guy away. Let's see. Let's see. Don't use moves. I have to get my. Oops, wrong one. I have to get my dude out of there though. That Aerodactyl. He might try to goof on that. I'm going to now use a faux hold orb because I'm pretty much just goofed right now with how I did the setup on this. I didn't move my Pokemon to the right area. If I even have one, okay, I do. Perfect. Faux hold orb. Use it. We have this shiny now on the screen, so we now can go to this. Push the plus button. Go to save data cloud. Not Crimbo. That's a bad one. Don't do that. What am I doing? Please wait. I got Nintendo Online account. I know. Me3, save data backup. And this makes it to where you can just consistently hit the RNG more often in your favor. I guess the frames more often in your favor to start farming for those shinies. And it's really nice. So put our things like that. Put our things like that. And now we can start working on are they attacking or there you go. I clicked the wrong Pokemon. So we're in a weird position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go tactics. I'm going to everyone. I'm gonna put wait here. So now they can't move while I'm trying to get this guy. And I can go like this, and I can go to the Dragon's Breath and hope we paralyze it. And he's paralyzed right away. Perfect. This is what we want. You really want that. And when you put right here, you're also making them wait in their spot and they're not be able to do anything. They can't move forward, and you have to worry about, you know, the Pokemon being dumb. We're gonna also put Sleep Wand on him. So I'm not sure if it looks like he's not paralyzed no more. So at this point, he doesn't have paralysis. He recovered relatively fast. I'm not sure if he has something to make it to where he can recover fast at the moment, but we're gonna do a Sleep Seed. We're gonna throw it, put him to sleep. And now I don't have to worry about that. I can now heal up if I need to. I don't think I have any Oran berries on me. Let me check. I don't actually turn them all, I think, into something. They all goofed on by a trap possibly, or something else happened. And last attempt, and we recruited. So there we go. We recruited. We had to reset it. That was a complete, you know, if I failed the other one, I now have recruited this one, so I don't feel as bad about resetting earlier. So and that really about does it. I mean, there's other small things. If you ever want to join my streams, I can explain other stuff to you guys. I always stream on YouTube or Twitch at twitch.tv/ChristicoChris or my YouTube channel, ChristicoChris. There's people that like to use things outside of Sceptile. That's totally fine. Or different type of methods. That's totally fine too. Whatever is comfortable for you, do it. But I've always had good success with using Sceptile and all my other Pokemon. I like the whole consistency of it. So yeah. Feel free to support the channel by, of course, becoming a channel member. It only costs $1 to $5. Becoming a Patreon if you'd like that as well, or if you'd like to do that instead, obviously. You can also help out by becoming a follower on Twitch or a subscriber on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get 1 free sub a month. Feel free to give it to me. It helps out a whole lot. Helps me make these type of videos, which I will probably do more often and have it a bit more scripted and a bit more better. This was all kind of like a free flow. So, yeah, and of course I have merch. You want to buy merch? I got it. I have it. You want to help out the channel, but also get something in return? You can always buy merch. There's tons of sweet, sweet hoodies. New designs are coming really soon. And just thank you so much. If you have any questions, need any help, just feel free to message me. Twitter, Discord, Instagram. Of course, in the comment section, I reply as fast as possible. The only times I don't reply is if I'm streaming or I forget because I was streaming prior. So once again, thank you so much. Hope this helps. And if you get any shinies through this method, for sure, tell me. Share this around if you want to show other people such sweet methods. And that about does it. Bye-bye.